Estamos ao vivo, fala galera, muito boa tarde, bom dia se você for ver essa live depois, boa noite também. E galera, é o seguinte, muito obrigado por todo mundo que já está online aí, então já vamos deixar um like, vamos se inscrevendo, por favor, espalhem aí o evangelho dessa entrevista que vamos ter um entrevistado muito foda, vocês já estão vendo aí. E galera, meu nome é Daniel Rivers, para quem não me conhece, muito prazer, muito obrigado mais uma vez. E seguinte galera, já vá jogo rápido porque eu tô ansioso. Hoje é aquelas lives que é difícil, assim, que a gente vai entrevistar, a gente tem um monte de curiosidade e tem um lado fanboy aqui que tem que se controlar. E a gente vai conversar com um cara em inglês, né? Já respondendo aí o Kizzy, sim, vai ser em inglês. E aí, Miralda, e aí, Dionísio, suave. A live vai ser, eu vou perguntar, nós três aqui, a gente vai perguntar tudo em inglês, beleza? Só que antes a gente vai antecipar em português, tá? Então, para quem não entende porra nenhuma de inglês, fiquem tranquilos que a gente vai estar traduzindo aí, tá? Então, eu tenho ajuda de 2 pessoas para ir tentando traduzir, beleza? Então, basicamente é isso. Galera, olhem o link na descrição, por favor. Temos aí o portfólio do Daniel Bell, que você já deve conhecer, o portfólio dos entrevistados, o meu também, e o site da escola e as redes sociais da escola, tá? Então, sigam lá no Instagram, no Facebook, Escola Rivers, para vocês terem ali mais ou menos a data das próximas entrevistas. A gente vai entrevistar também Cláudio Fontes, Igor Cato, Denis Casarini, vamos entrevistar uma galera de peso aí, e temos mais algumas que não foram anunciadas. Então, lá vocês vão ter acesso. E também informações de cursos, aulas gratuitas. Aqui no próprio canal, vocês se inscrevendo, vocês vão estar dando uma olhada em várias aulas gratuitas. Temos 40 aulas de Unreal gratuitas com o professor Rafael. Maravilha, galera. Aprender em 3D e treinar inglês, exatamente. Gente, eu vou chamar aqui primeiramente os entrevistados, tá? Então, bem-vindos aqui, Rafael Albeiro e Alan Macedo.
E aí, pessoal, beleza? E aí?
Show de bola? De boa, então, na ordem alfabética aí, Alan, se apresente para a galera, por favor.
Então, vocês viram na última live, eu sou o Alan, eu
tá
faço
nervoso, né, mano?
Com o Dani, um pouco. E estamos aí, trabalhando, fazendo uns bonequinhos, umas estatuazinhas, Superman.
Fazendo brinquedinho aí pra galera.
Fazendo uns brinquedos.
E aí, Rafa, se apresenta aí, por favor, mano.
E aí, beleza? Sou o Rafael Albeiro, faço as estátuas também, tô aí no mercado de colecionável custom agora, tentando fazer um super-heróizinho legal aí, diferentão.
Maravilha. Bom, gente, vamos lá. Eu vou chamar o grande bonitão agora aqui, o Godfather. Então eu vou fazer a introdução com ele em inglês aqui, depois eu vou traduzindo, beleza, galera? Então bora lá. Please welcome Daniel Bell.
Hey, man. Hey, bom dia, amigos. How's it going, guys? All good? Thanks for all the invitation.
No, thank you for accepting it.
Thank you.
Thanks,
my pleasure. My pleasure, guys.
So, Danny, please, everybody knows you, but let's please make a quick introduction. Because I know you have a long journey.
Yeah.
So, please present yourself.
Okay, cool. So I've been working in the Zishi field for more than 15, 16 years, I think. I started with, other things, different things, very different from what I'm doing right now. I did some mechanical engineering, architectural visualization. I work at video games also. And what else I did? I don't know. Advertising, dude. I'm forgetting. But
he's nervous.
I did many things. Yeah, in this more than 15 years that it was kind of crazy. The whole path and everything that happened to me. And lately, I think the 5-6 years. I think maybe 7. I've been working for collectibles. I started with some personal stuff, like my Beowulf was my only personal job, and thanks to that I entered in the collectible world, and since then I'm here, and I will not move. I'm so happy, dude. I'm really happy working in this thing, and if I compare with all my past jobs, by far this is the best thing I ever did in my life, for sure. And I'm really enjoying the whole thing, the process, I'm really enjoying the whole thing, for sure.
Very nice. Let me translate to guys. Pessoal, então ele resumiu aqui que ele tem 15 anos de carreira, Eu acho que ele consegue me entender também, que eu que tenho dificuldade de falar espanhol. Ele falou que ele tem 15 anos de carreira, pelo visto ele trabalhou também com engenharia mecânica, né? Acho que foi isso que eu entendi. E ele está uns 6, 7 anos trabalhando com colecionáveis. E o único trabalho que ele tem publicado aqui, que é pessoal dele, foi o Beowulf. Que foi no Beowulf que eu conheci o trabalho dele, inclusive. Estou até caçando aqui. Achei. Aqui, ó.
Yeah.
That's the Beowulf, right?
Exactly. Yeah, that's the one. Yeah,
That-
actually it's funny because I think the Argentinian people, we think we understand the Portuguese because we get some of the Portuguese. And I'm sure you understand some of our Spanish too, right? But but I don't think if I understand 100%. But I think you said Beowulf, and it's Beowulf there. So
I understand.
About us.
I understand. Okay, Spanish, this kind of language, but I have but difficult on speaking Spanish. That's
yeah. Here's the same. I don't know nothing in Portuguese more than bom dia and obrigado and a few words.
That's very nice. You can survive with this, and maybe eu quero uma cerveja, por favor.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's it. That's the thing. Yeah. Well, that's funny because when one of my first trips to SciShow in the States, I met a few guys there. They usually go to China for production. All the production stuff occurs in China. And I asked to one of my friends there, do you know some of Chinese? And he said, no. The only thing I know is how to. I learned a few things, and one of the main important things it is ask for beer in Chinese. So this is exactly the same. I think in every language you need to understand how to say, hey, can I get a beer or something like that.
Yeah, when I in the future when I go to another country, I will learn the minimum to ask beer, to ask for a lunch. Good evening. That's the survival kit.
That's true. Yeah, that's true.
Okay, so let me ask you about your beginning. You were talking about that you're working on other areas, on other markets, and then you migrate to collectibles. What made you this transition? What was your inspiration?
Okay, I think I have a restless mind. I mean, I can't keep in one place for too much, for too long. So I'm always jumping between stuff, between different careers. I jumped many times, as I said before, and that's because I'm always trying to be happy with what I'm doing, and not just only happy, be satisfied. I think is the best word. And when I'm not satisfied anymore, I probably will jump to another thing. I will try different things, things that makes me feel good, make me feel comfortable. But I think the most important thing it is, if I'm going to spend hours and hours of my day, I will always prefer to do something that I really enjoy doing it, So I think I try different things in my entire career. I think that was the main reason why, and because when you do things, some doors will start open in across your path. So it's up to you if you decided to go to that direction or just keep in the same place you're right now. And I was always choosing to take a different path and see what happened. If nothing happened or something bad happens, let's say I can go back again to what I was. I think that's the main reason why I try many different things. And another reason could be because in Argentina, I'm from Argentina. I'm still living in Argentina, and probably it happened the same in your country. Maybe because we're close. Fortunately, your country is way better than mine in many senses, except on the soccer. But that's a different discussion.
I was sure that you're
no, but for real, we are pretty similar, and I'm sure that, like for example, 15 years ago, internet wasn't the same like right now. The information, we didn't count with YouTube, we didn't count with many things we count right now. So when you wanted just to learn something, you really have to make a deep research, and that's something that at that time led me to try a lot of things, because this 3D stuff was new, and we have many things to do, and at that time I didn't know what exactly wanted to do for the rest of my life. So I was younger. I'm at 37 right now. I'm super young, as you can see. No, but I mean, I started like in my 20s, something like Rafa and Ellen. It's kind of the same age they have right now. So, and as you can see, is a long path. It's nothing that you will achieve. It will be just from one year to another. I mean, you can achieve many things in 1 year, but at the beginning the path is slow. But even right now, you can't compare your personal growth. I mean, the personal growth you can have right now comparing with 15 years ago, because the industry changed so much, and we are in a great place right now in where you can choose exactly what you want to do, even at your 20s. At that time was like okay, I loved 3D, or I like 3D. Okay, what you want to do? I don't know what kind of job I can do. And it was like, okay, is a 3D art piece or video games?
Yeah.
Just a little bit, because the companies we had in Argentina were just video games for cell phones, and that was pretty much that, and I forgot you have to translate all what I said. So
no, don't worry.
On.
I'm making some few notes here to remind everything. Be cool.
Okay, yeah, but that was a thing. Basically, I can't remember your question actually, but I don't know if I answered.
The beginning.
Okay, yeah, my beginning. So yeah, that was pretty much what happened at my beginnings. I was choosing different paths because it was the path, or was the careers we even not a careers, just jobs, regular jobs and small jobs. Actually, they were paying you pretty bad. The salaries were so small, and back at those days I was just myself, so it was easier. But then when you have family, when you get married, and when you have kids, that's totally different. It's a game changer, and then you have to take care, or just maybe look for another options. But it's different right now. If you compare my time with, my 20s with this guy's 20s, is way different.
Yeah. Basically, you mentioned that in the beginning of your restaurant that you weren't 100% happy on what you were working, and then you migrate to collectibles, and then you feel much more happier. And then you mentioned, I'm just reminding to translate. You mentioned that in the beginning to learn all of this stuff, you haven't much content on the internet to learn. Now we have YouTube, many free tutorials. When I started on 2009, 9, I don't remember. It was much difficult, and you started before that. I started on 2009, I think. Which year did you start studying 3D? Do you remember? 3D.
Yeah, 3D was like 2000. It was. I'm so bad with math, dude. But like I just count backwards, 17 years, 16 years, and
Yeah.
I don't know what year we are in 2020. What year we are? 2021.
Pandemic times.
Yeah, pandemic times. Well, yeah. Of course, I will not forget this, but it's 2021. So yeah, it was like I don't know,
2006.
Yeah, 26. Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. That's fine. Now I remember everything to translate. Então, galera, basicamente você vai falar uma coisa, Alan?
One question. Were you very nervous about your first licensed job, or no?
Você tá me colocando para traduzir duas coisas, né, seu Lazaré?
Can you repeat, please?
Were you very nervous about your first licensed job?
Honestly, I was more excited than nervous because I was, I felt that I was prepared for it because I was preparing for many years to that opportunity, even without knowing that I was being prepared for that, So when I had the chance to get my first possibility with the license stuff, I think I was super excited, and I was, but I don't know if nervous is a word, I'll worry about it. It was like I've been preparing myself at that time for, I don't know, 10 years, 12 years of working hard in the industry, even in different paths. So I think all the things I did in the past makes me feel comfortable enough to take new directions or new quests or whatever. So when I had that chance, I think I said, okay, I know I can do this, and I will try. I would give my 100%, 110%, and I did it. But yeah, it was super exciting. It's receiving receiving an opportunity from bigger companies like the ones I work and I'm still working. It's for us. Even I would say, and I said this to all the friends at the States. When you come from countries like the ones we are living, like Latin America, everything that you can achieve in bigger countries, or let's say North America, Europe, or whatever, for us it feels like a mission impossible. It's something huge. And if you compare the same person of the same, let's say experience, the person with the same experience and the same age I was at that time, I had at that time, but people from the States or Europe, they feel different from us because it's something more common, they have everything there. So when you finish your college and you go outside for looking for a job, those are the opportunities they have. But for us, the fight is even harder. I don't know if you understand what I'm trying to say. It feels different. Yeah. It feels like the achievement. It feels 10 times more bigger and important. And so. Yeah, I was super excited. But I don't know. Yeah, maybe a little bit nervous, of course. But that wasn't my main feeling.
Nice. So Danny, one good news. I asked here on the chat if the audience is needing to translate. They kind of said that it doesn't need, so I'm not going to translate that again.
Nice.
I think when it goes offline, the video, you can turn on the how do you say legendas?
Automatic translator.
Yeah, automatic translator.
Yeah, and it works pretty good. Yeah. I mean, the algorithm needs to do an extra work for my English, so it's like it's working harder than the regular.
No, that's going to be very fine. The important thing that we understand. Rafael, do you have some questions?
Yeah, man, I have some questions for you. I prepared.
Nice, Rafa. Go for it, Rafa.
Those one for now.
The first one, I want to know which artist do you consider your reference? Because you are reference for many artists in the world, and I want to know what are yours.
My inspirations. Well, I have many artists who inspire me a lot every day. Some of them I don't know their names because it's like an open Artstation and knowing amazing stuff from many people around the world. Some of these artists are just it just appeared there and you say, wow, what is this? And then you download that image and you put in your inspiration folder, and I'm sure you're going to see it many times. And some of them are people who have helped me through my career. And I could name Martin Canale, I could say William Harbottle, I could say Steve Lord, and many more, because one cool thing about our profession, it is you have so many amazing artists out there, and sometimes it's like you can take reference from people that they are not well known, or they just have a few followers or whatever, because the important thing is what that piece of art transmit to you, what things makes you feel when you see it. And to me, that's the most important thing to get inspired, from.
Yeah.
But specifically talking about artists, those names that I mentioned are the most important to me, and I'm sure I'm forgetting others, big names, but yeah, basically those guys. I don't know if you know them, but if you don't know, you should because they're awesome. Martin, for example, he helped me a lot through to understand how his market works, how it works, how what things to do, what things to avoid, proportions. He has an special knowledge about comic proportions and how he transmits what he wants through using that. He is one of the best at his craft. And William Harbottle, I would say probably is the most how can I say this? Is the cleanest and the tidiest. I don't know if those words exist actually, but it is super clean and tidy in his work. It's super neat, It's so his work is amazing in terms of how neat he is, how precise. His female pieces are by far the best of the market. And Steve Lord, he's a master of anatomy, and I love the way he works anatomy, and I love his workflow. He works like if we're in a traditional virtual space, he does stuff without symmetry, and I think he was one of the main guys who pushed me to try working without symmetry, directly in pose, and understand why it's so important at this to try and to apply most of the time that workflow in your pieces. So and then I have many others in the list that I could name, but I think those three are the most important.
Very nice.
Thanks, man.
Please.
Let me ask some of the audience questions.
Yeah.
I'm not finding who asked it, I'm so sorry. But if someone asked about your classes, your courses, and when you are going to return teaching.
My live shows?
I think that's it.
Because
I want so much to find the comment. But anyway, about teaching in a general way.
Well, teaching is something difficult to me because I don't have time, honestly. Many things are happening in my career, in my life, all good things, amazing things that I can't be grateful enough. So that basically makes to don't have time for all this stuff, and I have to prioritize my tasks and stuff to do. And I love teaching. I love talking, as you can see. And but I can find time to teach. I have one student is a friend of mine. His name is Danny, and he's Danny also. And I like mentoring him, something like that. He already he knows some of the things. Yeah, but I only have one of the time because I can allow myself to put time in more, unfortunately, But I did some. I taught some stuff in Argentina in a local place, and it was fun. But this is a funny anecdote, maybe. At that time, I was teaching anatomy, and my way, of course, to teach, I had a schedule, or how do you call it? I don't know in English how do you call it. It's like a rules to follow, let's say, or how you should.
Pipeline.
Yeah, like a pipeline. Yeah, pipeline. And so I was doing my way to teach stuff, and most of my students were super young people, very young people, like 17 to 25, something like that. And I had, let's say, I don't know, 30 to 20 something people, and most of them, they didn't put attention on what I was saying. They didn't understood the importance of having someone, it could be me or any other, who works in the field, who works in the market, because they were too young to understand that. I put myself in that age and I say, well, yeah, I was playing, I don't know, PS2, PS3 at that time, and I was only caring about video games and stuff. And I understand what they were doing. But at the same time, now I see Rafa or Alan, or I have other young friends who are amazing artists too. And I have those, between those 25, 30 people, I have 2 or 3 friends, two or three guys who actually now are friends of mine, who understand the importance of paying attention to someone, what someone has to say, or to teach, who actually someone who is working in the field. Mm-hmm. Again, could be me or any other people, any other person, So related to that, that's the only experience I was teaching was that time. But I'm going to go back with my YouTube shows, I think soon, and hopefully.
Nice. Yeah. Very nice. We have another question from Mauricio Araújo. That may peanut. He asked about this pandemic times for COVID. Mm-hmm. Do you think that space for who is initiating right now, who is beginning right now on these difficult times? What's your opinion about that?
I think that more than ever we have more chances to get work or to get. No, I would say. Let me say it again. Getting a work is different because. Okay, I will say it again better because I don't want to misunderstand what I'm saying. Is because of this pandemic, lots of people were just surfing the internet way more than before, right? Mm-hmm. And most of the people, if we just take one portion of the market, they have more time and more money to invest in something they like, because they are not putting that money on go outside and have dinner or go outside and a shopping stuff. So they were saying, I'm talking about the average, right? Not every single case. So we were seeing that we're having more sales during this pandemic than before because of this. right? So if the demand it's up and it's getting higher, of course you will need more people to attack that demand. So I would say that right now, even during this pandemic, and you could say, okay, yeah, but the companies, they don't have money to invest on new artists or whatever. I think it's the opposite, because more people is buying stuff, In Argentina, we have something, it's called Mercado Libre, which is basically eBay, or like a Latin American eBay or Latin American Amazon, and they're getting richer and richer every single day, and that's because more people are in their houses with a cell phone, like surfing on the internet, buying stuff. Even if they don't have money or they have job, they keep doing it. I don't know if it's something crazy, but I would say this pandemic, it didn't affect as I thought will affect.
Totally.
It was the opposite. So it's a terrible situation in the world, but at the same time it make it better, or it make more people buying stuff. So I think you could have more chances now than before.
Yeah, totally agree with you. That's very nice. Let me just make one of the questions from the script. I want to know about your first studies. How did you study in your beginning? Do you have some anatomy books? Did you make some courses? You mentioned some reference for the beginning, like Martin and etc.
Actually,
which
I have
are
it there.
Oh yeah, that's very larger books.
Oh yeah,
You can use as weapon.
Yeah, totally. It's pretty heavy. Every single book I found that talks about anatomy or anything, I bought it because I invested on that, because that's the only way I had to learn anatomy for artists. At the beginning, I started with some anatomy books for doctors or medical staff. It was super hard to understand them because the technical language and all the technical side it is hard to see it. It's hard to apply in your, let's say, in you as an artist. So I discovered this book existed for artists, so I started buying. But I didn't have any real academic or official, let's say. I didn't take any official course or academic knowledge from any place, unfortunately. I would love to have places in our local towns or local places, to go and study there, to have a community and like other careers, any other career will be awesome.
And my first study wasn't an official first from anatomy, but it was Conan the Barbarian. Boris Vallejo. This guy
Frazetta.
is Frazetta, but this one is from Boris, the cover art. This was my first reference. Frazetta and Boris Vallejo.
Nice.
Very nice.
Yeah, very nice.
Then you have you have one video in your channel talking about these books.
Oh yeah, I have a video. Yeah, that's right. If you want to check it later, I have my YouTube channel, or you can find Daniel Bell in YouTube. I explain a little bit of these books, what they have, and what I put it in order. I think I put it in order, like the most my picks. I can't remember exactly, but yeah, I had a video.
Aprende a triunfar em escultura digital. Com Daniel.
Yeah.
Very nice. Whoa, look at him, long hair.
Yeah,
I like this
Franco.
one. Spawn.
Franco's very good.
Franco. Yeah, he's awesome. He's a good friend too. Yeah, I had a good time with Claudio, my friend, making this show. We started this crazy pandemic, and my wife told me, why you just go online and talk do some live streaming. I said, I don't know, I've never did it before, and I did it once and I really enjoy it. I enjoyed a lot the interaction with people, reading the comments and answering questions and stuff like that. So immediately Claudio, our friend Claudio, joined forces with me, and we started this like a Friday night show, and it was super fun, and we brought a lot of people and amazing artists around the world, and it was crazy. It was an amazing experience. I learned a lot. I learned how to communicate better with people. I'm still learning, of course, but it was really, really, really nice, and something that of course we're going to continue this year, but I have to
Very
take,
nice. Very nice.
Yeah, find time.
Communication is something that you have to learn. We think that's a very easy step to do, because it's one of the first things that we learn in life. But when we kind of make this kind of job, we isolated on our own cave study, and we lost some communication skills. That's pretty easier stuff to happen.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, even more if you work alone. If you work from our houses, we can't share a place with other artists or other people. So you lost communication, you lost your interaction with the world and with your community, maybe. So it's important to at least once, twice a week you can keep you can keep in contact with those friends or colleagues or even people you don't know. And I think live streamings are a great tool for that. 100%.
Very nice.
Yeah.
That's a question from Pedro Corbalan. As Sideshow's art director, do you choose the artists which we will work with? If so, how do you make this selection? And just a quick comment. If you cannot talk about Sideshow or other companies, feel free to not answer. Okay.
No worry. This question is safe. As an AD right now, my main job it is to direct my pieces and assist to others when they need some help, mostly in the anatomy sense or maybe the poses and stuff like that, the blockouts. And I'm not working directly with other people under my aisle, It's like just co-working, let's say, and having the chance. Maybe the main difference of being just a AD at Sideshow or just a senior sculptor, it is you can have more choices and you will have more responsibility of the things you are doing. And it's like you're your kind of your own boss, even if you answer to the boss, right? And but you have more control of your staff. And again, I'm not working directly with others like guys who assist me or something like that. But sometimes what we have to do it is put new people in other projects. So when we have to, choose a new one, it's basically a portfolio thing. We're running through. We are in internet. We all at the team. We have our Instagram's accounts, Facebook accounts. Where you should go to Artstation. We see portfolios there, and if something caught our attention, we just say the name, we just say portfolio, and then we can bring this up when someone is asking, hey, we need a new guy, or we need someone, or we need a third party to work on this. And then we review that portfolio, and if we all agree and that's a good good artist to work with, we just send an email and interview him like any other people. But we usually, this is something important to understand, and maybe we're going to talk about portfolios later. So I don't want to go deep right now into that, but portfolio for all of us is our key, is the main key to enter to any company. Is basically what you're showing what you can do, right? That's why it's important to have in your portfolio your best pieces and not just the things you did 10 years ago. It's not good. It doesn't work, because the only thing that will lead you to let's say confuse the people, right? So yeah, that's basically what I do as an AD.
Very nice, very nice. People are asking if you're single.
For what?
People are asking if you're single.
If I'm single?
Yeah.
No, I'm married and I have a wife and 2 kids, 2 beautiful kids and a beautiful wife.
Please, people, serious questions. We have some Mr. Augusto. Can you understand? Just reading in Portuguese, or do you?
All right, let me try.
Yeah.
I kind of understand what he's saying.
It's about the future, in a general way.
Consider.
What's your opinion about the future of collectibles? He's accessing the translator. I'm very sure about that. Sobrecarregar. Did you got it?
Could you show me again? I'm trying to translate it. If you can translate it for me, it would be better. I cannot get it, but I understand the question earlier. Future of the market. What is the future of our market? Let's say he says. He's asking.
Yes. About the future, if it's going to overload.
Okay.
There's a lot of new artists and a lot of concorrência. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I think it would happen. What happened in every career? I mean, if the demands it's up, you can offer yourself as a. I mean, more companies with the time, more companies will arise. More people who is doing this, we keep doing it. So the future of the market is hard to predict, honestly. But I think if you really want to do this, and you can do it, and you know that you will put time, you know that you can make it something that you really, really, really could enjoy making it, living a life, being a sculptor for collectibles, you have to put yourself into it. Don't worry about what will happen in the future, because if you're good at it, companies will pay attention on you. So I would say don't worry, because this is like for example, there's plenty of doctors because people get sick. So I don't think I will pick up being a doctor because there are a lot of them. So that's maybe not the best way to choose a career. I think you will have to choose in order of what would you like to do, Mm-hmm. And if you really think you will enjoy this profession. So don't worry about that, because the market is strong. It's strong enough to have more people on board. So don't worry about that. The market is growing faster. Is with the 3D printing technology advancing and with all these movements and revolutionary stuff we are seeing right now with these home printers that can print stuff with the same quality than a manufactured printer. It's with the time, this market will keep growing more and more and more. So don't worry about that. Just if you like it, if you think you could be a good artist, a good sculptor, just go for it. Don't think about the market. You will be fine. You will be safe. Don't worry.
That's fair.
I have a question.
Yeah.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Which character you did not sculpt yet, but you would like to do?
Well, I love my I don't know if I can say. Now I would say the character that I love the most is Batman. I love Batman in many ways and many forms. I don't care if I need to do 10 Batmans or 15 Batman. I will find a way to make it different from the previous one. And so I would say Batman, and yeah, pretty much. I love the characters in where you can see anatomy and you can count with some of the stuff that character has. Like for example, let's say Batman has a cape, and you can play with the cape in the composition, and that's awesome. And he has a presence because his suit is black and it's easy to compose. And so I love everything around him, and even more his background story, everything he represents. I love him a lot. So I would say Batman for sure. I would pick him all day.
But you don't have one when you don't sculpt yet, because you do a.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't do it in a full for Sasha. I didn't do it in a full body yet. I had that it doesn't count. I mean, Batman Beyond is cool, but I'm talking about the regular version of Batman. You know,
need to be Bruce Wayne.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah. I mean, this one was really cool, and you know, because it's a futuristic, more futuristic the version, and
I love it.
thank you, man.
I love the details.
You like it? Thank you, man. I think I have a few pics of the 3D. I think smoke there. I think so. I don't know. Well, maybe below those pics. More. Down.
I have order for you.
That's a lot of images.
Yeah.
You have interest to doing other styles different for superheroes, creatures, video game stuff, or you like more than doing superheroes?
Yeah. Well, the thing I enjoy and I like the most are basically superhero stuff, as you can see, and but I enjoy sometimes, you know, put myself out of my comfort zone just a bit, not too much, because I'm too comfortable in what I'm doing. But being too comfortable is not good. But I heard that many times, you know, and I was thinking a lot about that phrase and about that thought, you know, of try to put yourself out of your comfort zone in order to be other stuff. And I said, yeah, okay, but you don't have to be uncomfortable all the time. If you're comfortable, it's not a bad thing, you know, because people think that being comfortable is something that it will lead you to a place in where you don't have you can't come back, you know, go back. And that's not true to me. I mean, because a lot of people told me that, Danny, why you don't do female sculpts and or robots or monsters or whatever. And I said, because I don't enjoy doing it. I tried and I did it in the past, and I did it actually the other day I did a female one. And I'm not enjoyed as much as I do when I'm doing a male superhero. I don't know why. It's something that it happened or not, you know. I can't force that. I can't force myself to do things that I can enjoy doing it. If it's for work, okay, I can do it, of course, because someone is paying me to do a certain type of things. But if my choice, I will keep choosing, making superheroes. But the other day, for example, for the NFTs, I did a Dogecoin.
They're cute.
Yeah, thank you. And I did a dog. I had so much fun. I was doing it and I was laughing, and I was really enjoying that. I said, oh, "This is crazy," because it's like it's a dog. I made him in a SpaceX suit, so I was creating that suit for a dog. But at first, I had to sculpt the dog, and I was sculpting a dog in a funny pose. And I was really enjoying it, but I don't think myself. I can't think myself sculpting dogs for the rest of my life. But I can see myself sculpting superheroes for the rest of my life. I don't know if that answers your question, but it's something like that.
Yeah. Man, as more than I look for this back, the more artistic and gestalt reference I can see. I like the way you make some arcs in every angle that you look, you can find many angles, arcs. Congratulations, man.
Thank you, man. Thank you. Appreciate it.
This helped a lot, man. It helped me a lot. All these pictures for your project, you don't put only the renders or photographics for final piece.
I like this. I like this.
The brush prints help many people.
Thank you. Appreciate it. I always try to put like a early version. Sometimes it's hard to get approved because you usually can't show something is not the final version of your piece. But when I can get it that approved, I upload that because it's. I always say don't take it as a accurate references, right? It's a reference. Just take it as a reference, but always compare with something from the real world, So because as an artist, you're going to cheat some proportions, you cheat some muscles or striations, whatever, in order to look good, look better, So always, now that I have the chance, if you're getting reference from my stuff, just take it in a not as a 100% is accurate, And I'm not excusing myself. I'm just saying always if you want accurate, let's say something accurate, just go for a photo or a scan. Just look for photos from scans or actual photos. But of course you can get inspired from other stuff like things like this because are just the way I see the anatomy in these characters. There's this exaggeration of the poses of limbs of the everything there is a little bit exaggerated to get that feeling.
That's very nice. Just adding some of the previous comments from Rafael. He mentioned that about your other kind of prints that you make. About ZBrush, but not in the highest level, highest subdivision, and with other materials so we can check maybe some of the. Oh, thank you, Marcio, is following me, and then we can check other details like anatomy details, some fine sculpting. I kind of mentioned this to my students. It's not need. You don't need to always to make final prints, final renders. You can show the process. You can show something of the making of your details and make some emphasis on some details. As you do on your portfolio, and like of these details. So I'm going to ask you one personal question that's not on the script. How do you choose the angle poses, angle of camera positions and angles to take your photos? What are meaning? What's your goal, objective to take the photos?
Okay. Well, that's a good question. Yeah. Well, these photos are taken by the photo studio at Sideshow, but I usually take photos too. Actually, my wife of my stuff, and but in order to get these pictures the best fitting as possible, I've been working, as I mentioned before, for I don't know, 2-3 months on each piece, so which angles are the best of every statue,
Yeah.
And
during the process.
we work. Yeah. So you work with the team, with the photo team, as I should saying, okay, guys. Of course, they have their own perspective of each statue. They can see it and say, this is a good angle, this is a good shot. But we work together and we send them like, okay, this angle is the best, this one is other cool angle, and this is not his best angle. So try to avoid this angle because it doesn't look. Even if you try to make a statue that looks good from every angle, that's my goal, let's say. But of course, you will have some angles that could make a little bit odd or not so good. So in order to avoid those, I take some renderings and said, okay, this is angle you have to avoid, and this is the best angle we can get. So go for this angle. Yeah. So it is just look the pieces and see what is the best. And when you are making these statues, you need to take into account these statues will be shown, will be displayed at your sight level, at your eye level. So you need to take that into account. Because if you make his head too low, you will never have an eye contact with the piece, and that's something you have to avoid. And that's something you need to take into account for the photo shooting too. If you're showing his face and you really want to feel connected with that piece, you need to make an eye contact. So it is just I think is a search for what transmits you from that piece, what transmits something from that piece to you.
Okay. The people are asking, Vinicius and Jefferson asked if you ever worked with games.
If I worked I did work in games, but a small video. I work at I can't remember, a Game Loft when we were doing some cell phone. The first video games for the iPhone, the first iPhone, back at those days. But I was like nothing in comparison with you can do now, even with cell phones or even with AAA video games. Yeah.
Very nice. Very nice. So as we are getting closer to 3 p.m. and not make a very big extension, can we proceed to the portfolio reviews? Maybe?
Sure.
Okay. So guys, pessoal, a gente escolheu então 5 portfólios do que vocês mandaram. Agradeço por todo mundo que mandou aí. Não dá para, impossível mostrar todos, né? Teve mais de, o Alan e o Rafa me ajudaram aí, teve o quê? Uns 100 portfólios mais ou menos que a gente recebeu?
Foi muita coisa, cara.
Tinha bastante. Foi bastante.
A gente recebeu pelo Discord, pelo WhatsApp, pelo Facebook, pelo Instagram. A gente recebeu muito.
Correio, chegou carta aqui em casa com o link.
Sinal de fumaça, assim, o pessoal, mostra lá. Então a gente escolheu 5 aqui. Então, gente, quem a gente não mostrou aqui, não se sintam mal, tá? Então, numa próxima a gente pode estar mostrando. Então, bora lá. Cadê? Deixa eu compartilhar. Daniel, by the way, cheers. This is Saturday. We kind of deserve it. So this is from Felipe Rui Fernandes. It's our friend, and nice. He kind of helped us, me and Alan, with handers. He knows a lot of Corona hander,
Nice. One question. The top pictures in your portfolio, it's render or a real photo of the piece?
No, those are real photos. Most of them are real photos, and I think I have only one render posted for Flash. I think I can't remember, but I don't usually take, like, let's say, like a cool renders of my statues, because it doesn't. You don't have to. I mean, you can do it if you want, but I don't have time, honestly, to make renderings that probably they're not going to use for posting, because the renders you can do renders of your personal statues, personal pieces, and that will be fine. But for in a company, the product that you show, it should be the closest possible of what you are selling. You know, if not, you can get into trouble. So let's say, for example, you're making some cool renders of your statue, and then you produce it and you paint it, and it doesn't look like exactly the same. Mm-hmm. So it's like you are selling something that it can be produced like as you did it before. That's why maybe rendering sometimes it's complicated.
Very nice, very nice.
Yeah.
So, do you have some feedback for Felipe? Maybe I can choose one project. Feel free.
Yeah. Can you? Did you send me these so I can? Oh,
sure.
Felipe.
That's
I can have it. Yeah, I can have it here. I have
the first link. Do you want to share your screen? Maybe.
Oh yeah, definitely. Let me.
That's down here.
Yeah. Share screen. And I think it's screen 1. Are you seeing my the portfolio here? Okay, cool. So let's navigate. Actually, let me open all of them so I can have the different tabs. Okay, cool. Well, I'm going to try to find like probably we're going to talk about the same thing in many of these portfolios. I haven't seen them, but I'm sure we're going to have some let's say particular things that it will repeat, because it's something very common, you know. And the main thing it is that I will say about this one, first of all, it's pretty nice, and immediately you can see this guy really knows what he's doing. But maybe if you're working, let's say, for example, I don't know Felipe what the goal he has, but let's say he wants to work for collectibles. So if you want to work only for collectibles, you should avoid, for example, pieces that are not collectibles, let's say, right? Or they doesn't show your fully potential. You need to leave in your portfolio the only things represent your actual quality, right? Maybe you could say, okay, maybe I'm better than a year before, but I'm way better than 5 years ago, you know? And so if you have very old jobs, you don't have to put them. It's not about quantity, it's about quality all the time. So you should choose the best of you have, and then put it there, and try to make as most interest as you can, you know, and maybe try to have something that represents your rendering, maybe something that make that piece is, for example, I'm trying to order my thoughts. For example, if I'm taking a look to his portfolio, I can see he can sculpt, of course, and then he can render, right? But I can't see anything that connects these works to each other. I can see this, and I could say, okay, these are from the same guy. This maybe not. This I don't think so. You know what I mean? It is.
Yeah.
I'm not seeing like a connection between them. Different angles, different language, a different color palette. I mean, it is a nice. I think with the same artworks, you can do something that if people see your work anywhere else, they can say, oh, this is from Felipe, right? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But in general speaking, he's very good, and yeah, mostly that about this portfolio. Let me check the next one. Move to the next one. Vinicius Cardoso. Okay, cool. So this is a good example of what I was saying before. You know, he uses like a black background, and that immediately connect all these artworks. You know what I mean? It is like you don't need to. Let's say, for example, you don't have to have always a white background or pink background, but when you have something that help you to connect your artwork, you're making your own, let's say, artistic way to present things. You know, your style. You're making a style, and even with the lighting, this is a pretty nice lighting, and you know how you can see it here. How it fades, and this is nice. This is a very nice presentation. So congrats to everyone actually, because I took a quick look before, and all of them looks awesome. But again, if you want to work for collectibles, you should only put collectible stuff. Don't put any pieces that are outside that world. You know what I mean? Yeah. And why I'm saying this and putting so emphasis on that, because when you have someone who is basically trying to find a sculptor for a particular place, a particular market, you're going to, let's say for example you receive like 100 of portfolios. You're going to take a quick look of in general, and then you will pick a selection of those, and then you will move to another phase, and then another selection. So you can have just a few. Let's say from 100 you can pick just one. You're going to pick the best one, but in order to pick the best one, the first thing you're going to see it is this section, right? And if it's something is messy, or if it's something that is not working, you will just erase that one. You will discard that one, right? So that's why it's important. It's very important to pay attention to that.
Very nice.
But very very nice. And move to the next one. Elton. I think I spoke with Elton a few times. I think. Yeah, this is a very interesting one. Because I remember he sent me his portfolio, and I didn't know if it was traditional, it was digital, what exactly it was, and then I think he explained me it was a mixture of both, and so I would say if you want to work right now, you have more chances that someone hires you to work in this market as a digital sculptor, not as a traditional sculptor. So if you want to have a traditional place, you need to have a place. Of if you paint, you need to be neat in the way you place your portfolio. You make your portfolio, right? So just select your pieces. I don't think someone will care if you understand how to make cups. For even these cups are great, they're awesome, right? Maybe you're not aiming the best way. For example, this one of Kratos, it seems it has a good lighting or interest lighting, but it's not working. So you need to pick your cover photos and your photos of your thumbnails as best as you can, because this is what I mentioned before, that is important to have a clean shot of all the single pics. You know, you have to navigate. If you navigate through this, you need to see clearly what you have, what are your capabilities, and then you can enter in some of these ones and say, okay, let's say if you really caught your attention, you don't have to, you need to make this thing, for example. I'm sorry, I can't hear you well. I'm getting some noise from, I don't know where. If you can make silence one of the mics.
All right.
I think it's Rafael. Yeah. Okay.
Oh, thanks, man. I'm sorry, because I was receiving so much noise. So I think this is very important. To don't put the same all the time. Just make some thumbnail cool, and then try to sell that from that thumbnail. And it doesn't matter, because for example, here we have 1 time, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times the same artwork. Then you repeat again with Joker 1, 2, 3 times, 4 times. You don't have to. You can have a one for the gray one, so you can see the print versions. You can have one for the rendering stuff, and that's it. You know what I mean? But amazing work by Elton. So congrats to him too.
Very nice.
Yeah, man. Then we have Daniel Modatsos, and yeah, this is very nice. Maybe if the main or the first thing that it pops, it is this guy here.
Yeah.
It doesn't have the same quality of the rest. It doesn't look from the same guy. So be careful about that, because I can clearly see you have a gray. You can handle perfectly this style. It's beautiful. For example, this picture is beautiful. It's awesome. Same as the rest, but this one is off. So even without click on it, I can see it doesn't have the same. By far, it doesn't have the same quality. It's so smooth. It looks more like a sketch. So I would say don't put these things if you're working with this level of details in one picture, in one job. Try to avoid that to others. You just try to be consistent. This is another thing. Another important thing. Be consistent. Try to have the same. I understand that maybe you did this, I don't know, a year ago, and now you can do this. So I prefer to only see this rather than this too. So this is very important. And then you have some nice stuff with inorganic stuff. So this is cool. This is nice.
Right.
It's always to present the render, then some gray pictures, like a ZBrush picture. That's super cool. So pretty nice. So congrats to Daniel too. And then we have Victor. This is nice. This is pretty cool. Well, this is clearly. You can see his main selection is female sculpt. So this is nice how he presents. It has the same presentation, like the same framing. This is something that I was talking before. If you frame just one of your statues as, let's say, as a full frame of the face, you have to. You should do the same with the rest. Or if you're presenting like a mid shot, do the same with the others. It's something that it works, and it helps to make a style of presentation, right? So I really like this portfolio too. Maybe there are a few, like maybe, I don't know, this one that it doesn't. For example, this one here and this one here, it doesn't have the same quality of this one here. By far, I can see clearly that maybe this one were or old work, or maybe something you did it quick, but it doesn't have the same level. I don't know. I'm seeing this picture without click on it, and I love it and I really like it. but it doesn't be maybe Satana too, but it doesn't the same quality than the rest. So when you see that, just delete that job, forget about it. It doesn't matter how hard you work on it and how much you love it and how care about that work and what it represents to you. It doesn't matter. You need to think on the people who is seeing your work and evaluating you. Even more, for example, this one too. The cover image, it doesn't have the same quality of maybe this image or any other image. So update your cover image too. And that's something important. And another thing that I didn't mention, it is the about information. He doesn't have, I didn't check in the other ones, but he doesn't have any about, right? Any info about him. So you don't have to write a long speech saying what you did from the kid, from when you were young, whatever. But you need to put information about who are you, from when. It doesn't matter from where, but who are you, what to do. Just a short info about you. It's a biography, very short, and your contact info. That's so important. That someone it says, "Oh, let's put in contact with this guy." You need to find quickly how I can contact you. Because if I can have a way, maybe you could not be selected because you lose your chance. Sometimes it's about time, and this is something important. Here, for example, you have a pretty, maybe this is too little. Maybe you need to put a little bit more information. But you have the contact here, and you have the Instagram. This is perfect, You have Twitter, Instagram, and email. This is maybe the way you should create your about, and a little bit of more information could be cool too. Same for the rest. I think this is good. Let's say about Felipe. Yeah, good. Just put some information about you and about your interests. I think that's pretty much it.
Vitor is thanking you. He said, Vitor said thanks to you.
Man, my pleasure. Yeah, congratulations to every one of you, to Felipe, to Vinicius, Elton, and Daniel and Victor. All of you have an amazing work, and you could potentially work in this market for these companies easily. You just need to take or pay attention to your portfolio. Your portfolio is your presentation. So if you present this in a let's say not in a neat way, it talks about you. It talks about how you work, how you are as a maybe as a teammate. It could sound stupid what I'm saying, but it's basically your presentation card, and it says yes, I'm a neat person in my work. I put all the this is something that I usually look for. When you work with someone, it's not only necessary. Let's back here again. It's not necessary to be just a good artist or a good, have good skills. To work with someone as a team, you need to have several skills, and being a good teammate. That this is one of the most important. Understand how to receive feedback. Understand how to, get that in the best way. Understand that you are part of a team and you are not the guy, the sculptor, the name. You need to understand you are just a part of a chain, a huge chain of an engine, and that's important. That you have to be neat, you have to be clean with your files. You need to, if you're working with a team, you just can't do whatever you want. If you're working for a company, you need to have a work ethic. You need to have a compromise. If you say that you're going to deliver something like Tuesday, you have to deliver that what you committed on Tuesday. And if you can't, go do it another day, but just let the people know. There are many things that I think I will see. I will look for a teammate if I have to choose one. You know, it's a commitment, it's a compromise. It is the skills you have. It is, and if you are not skilled enough, if you show me that you are eager to keep learning and keep progressing, I will consider you. I'm talking not about just what I would do, but what usually some people, companies, bigger companies look for. You know, they don't want get into trouble with people. They don't want to problematic artists. You know, because we all the artists, we have our ego, so that's a problem, and that's something you have to need to deal with. You know. But most important, it is to understand that you're just part of a huge team of people that will work in order to get that piece out. So, yeah, basically that.
Yeah, totally agree with you. I think that we have the right to have our own problems, but it never can get in front of the production with our team. If maybe one day we work together, and maybe I'm having some kind of my own problems, maybe some depression, anxiety.
Yeah.
It never can maybe get a wrong date to delivery. Like you said, you asked me, Daniel, deliver me this piece on Tuesday. And then because of my depression, I'm going to deliver you Wednesday, Thursday. Maybe never work on yourself. Maybe get help, get some look for one professional to doesn't compromise you.
Yeah, I mean, if we all are humans, you know, we have a life and we have our problems, our stuff, and if you talk with people. And if you said something, for example, I want to deliver that on Tuesday, and you can't get that date, you can talk. You can say, "I'm sorry, I can't do it," and you can arrange different. But don't just choose to say nothing. You know, that's important that people understand. In big companies, you have a schedule, and you need to be tied to that schedule. Because it's not one thing, like I said before. It is you're just a small part of a huge team that it needs to do work like an engine, you know, all together at the same time. Of course, it's not it doesn't happen all the time. That you know that's a kind of utopia, but you should try to understand that, you know. And if you, I've met some guys. They said. But I want to do that as my own because I have my own style. Okay, if you have your own style and you are not open to receive feedback or open to understand you're part of a team, do your personal stuff, dude. Just do what you want to do for you. And it doesn't matter. I'm not saying you can't suggest ideas or can, you know, put your stuff on the pieces you're working for a company. You can do that, but you're not alone. You need to understand that you're part of the team. That's something. It seems like obvious, but I can tell you, man, it's just I found myself into trouble with other artists because they can't understand what it means, and it usually happens sometimes with the two opposite sides, when you have a very young guy or you have an older guy. I mean, older with someone with a lot of experience that comes with a lot of, you know, things you can't mold, you know. And the younger people, they believe because sometimes they get at a young age to a big company, they want to eat the world, you know. It's like, I'm the best, you know. And that's something you need to. That's the ego you need to control. And you need to understand that it's better if you are controlled.
I have a personal kind of joke that people are kind of a software too. So I need to learn about ZBrush, Maya, 3D Max, Corona, etc., and deal with people. People are kind of software too, and we doesn't have a course university to learn how to deal with them. So communication, like you said, if you can deliver it in one, on a schedule, on a date, communicate. Well, I have to travel. I be, you have your own personal problems, so communicate them, align that with your team. That's very, very important, as you said.
Yeah, and if you need some help, you just ask for help. Don't be arrogant. Yeah, don't be arrogant and think you can deal with everything. I have my strength and I have my weakness. And when I found myself working on something that I don't know how to do it, I ask for help. You're not. You are not better or worse for saying I don't know this. I don't know how to make it. And I don't know how to fix it. I don't know how to. You actually, that's better for you, because it's not that you're showing weaknesses. It's that you're open to keep learning, and you're open to. You just. I think we need to understand that this is something so common, that usually it happens to artists around the world and many professions. When you reach a kind of level, it's hard to say, "Oh, I don't know this," because people say, "Wait a minute, how did you don't know? You should know, because you are there. You are in the best company. You should. If I know it, how is possible you don't know? Well, because I'm a human, and maybe I don't know things. Maybe I can understand how to do certain type of things, but if not, I can learn. I think that's an attitude at work is everything. If I can have the chance to work with the best artist in the world, but he's freaking arrogant and it's so hard to work with, I would probably choose to work with not so good artist, but someone that I can work with, and we can get at maybe the same quality than with the older guy. You know what I mean? So the attitude is so important.
That's perfect, Danny. Thank you very much for
Appreciate it.
all of these tips. So we kind of extended our time. I asked it 1 hour for Daniel Bell, and he gave us 1 hour and a half. So sorry about extending these 30 minutes.
Don't worry, Danny. The price is the same.
We
can arrange that later. Don't worry.
Okay. So I think that's it. I don't want to take much more of the time. We could me, Rafa, and Alan, we can talk about the whole afternoon, because that's very nice. So maybe does anyone here have maybe a final comment, a final tip, a final? Rafa, Alan?
I just say thanks, man.
Thanks.
No worries. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Rafa. Thank you, man. Appreciate it. Both.
Alan?
All of you.
I have a last question.
Yeah, sure, man.
Which part of the sculpture do you find more difficult? Expression, anatomy, pose, hard surface?
Oh, can you say it again? I'm sorry. You got it up.
Which part do you find more difficult of the sculpture?
Which part? I'm sorry. Which part? What? I found the most.
It's more difficult for you.
Difficult. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Difficult. I would say to me, the things I not enjoy doing it the most. I enjoy a lot doing anatomy. So I will not say it's not difficult, but it's so enjoyable that it feels it's not difficult. And then I don't enjoy as equal doing hard surface, but I have to do sometimes.
Yeah.
And because I met people who are an amazing hard surface artist, and they don't like organic stuff. So it's a matter of taste, And I think that's, if I had to choose any of the part, I would keep myself. This is funny, but if I could make for living just classic sculptures, I will be so happy, dude, to be just classic sculptures with almost no cloth, just anatomy, pure anatomy, nice poses and stuff like that, with any no gadgets, no stuff, just classic sculptures. That would be something that probably I will do for my personal thing, my personal stuff. And I will read off any of hard surface elements for sure.
Very nice. Very nice. People are asking for part 2. Maybe
part 2. Yeah. Of course.
Maybe we can try that in the future. Yeah. It's going to be a
100%.
very. Yeah. Oh, thanks. That's going to be a pleasure. So, Danny, thank you very much for your time, for all your answers, your tips, all your experience. I kind of like that you showed a lot of your human part, and not that you are a 100 machine to deliver ZBrush files. You are a human being, an amazing human being.
Thank you, man.
But thank you very much, man. You're a big inspiration. All of my peer have files that are a lot of images.
Thank you, man. Thank you. Well, thank you so much to all of you. It was an amazing experience to talk with you, to share my time with the community. I learned so much from all of you guys. Not, as I mentioned before, you don't have to be the best artist in the world to be in my inspiration folder. I actually saved some of the pictures I've seen in your portfolio, even too, Danny, and Raph, and Alan too. I love some. I can appreciate some of the things you did it. You do actually, and the Brazilian community is so amazing, dude. I don't know what you have in the water or in the food or something that you're producing some of the best artists in the world, and I'm proud to be a Latin American. It's kind of crazy. Even if we are better in soccer, I'm sorry for that, but you have maybe the best artists around the world for sure, and so. But the jokes aside, and thank you for inviting me. Thank you for the things you're doing for the community. I think we are responsible for, the knowledge we are giving to the youngest people. I mean, Alan and Rafa, both super young guys, and you, Danny, you're not too young, but you're a little bit younger than me. Just a little bit younger than me. But anyway, it's awesome. It's awesome to me, and it's so amazing to see people from, I don't know, around the 20s and the 20s taking this so serious, and it makes me so happy, honestly, to your commitment to this art and to this community. So I can express my gratitude to all of you guys, to the Brazilian community again, and just keep moving forward.
Very nice, man. Thank you very much, man. Beleza. Então é isso, gente. Muito obrigado pela presença de todo mundo. Um excelente final de semana para todos. Já quem não deixou o like, deixa o like agora, se inscreve. Se inscrevam no canal do Daniel Bell também. Eu mostrei para vocês, mandei no link. E é nóis, gente. Bom final de semana. Thank you, Danny. See you.
Valeu, mano.
Bye, guys.